to the Prince Magnum channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to a do-it-yourself budget hot rodding about Project Spirit. And this is actually an episode 2 because there's work that's been done and you guys just didn't know about it, alright? There's things that happen when the cameras just, turn off on a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of your favorite hot rod TV shows. There's a lot of things that happen between those takes and when the cameras are off. There's a lot of things that have to happen, and we're going to talk about those real quick. The first thing that we're going to talk about is kind of what I call the 3 R's of hot rodding: renew, reuse, recycle. Okay, now in one of the previous videos, we found, we took off the radiator and we took off the old steel fan, and we took off the transmission cooler. Those parts there can be recycled, okay? Now, the old steel fan, in case something should happen, I decided to hang on to it in case I might be able to kind of restore it, thus reusing it, in case that one that we put on there doesn't exactly work. But we'll get to that, alright? We took the original radiator, which still has a lot of copper, has aluminum in it, and we took the transmission cooler to a place called Scrappin' Metal, which is right over in Park Hills. Here's some video footage of us taking those parts there. That's right, we took those parts there along with a bag of aluminum cans and made $16.45 off of it. Now, many of you might be saying right now, Prince Magnum, that's not a lot of money. No, it's not, okay? But that's about $16.45 that we didn't have before, okay? We could put that right back into the project cart. And bear in mind, at the shop that I work at, the vape shop that I work at, I make a lot of, tips. And as those tips are dropped in my jar and everything, I'm able to put back into Project Spirit. This is money we did not have before, okay? Also, whenever we do the marathon streams, that's money we could put back into the project cart. And because we were able to do that, I made a few phone calls and found a salvage yard, a junkyard, that had an old Maverick. And we posted a picture of it on the community tab. If you're subscribed to the Prince Magnum channel, you already knew that. See what I mean? Alright? So you already knew all about that old junk Maverick that we found. Frames rusted, floor pans are gone on it, and even the rear end's out from underneath the car. There's really not much left for this car. She's at the, that Maverick is at the end of her road, which means that we're able to get those parts, the usable parts off of this car. We found a core support. We found, we found all the trim that we're going to need. And through the process of what we are doing, as parts come off that are unusable, they go to a salvage yard. So we are able to recoup the cost, kind of back and forth like that. And that's how we renew, reuse, recycle. Because those old parts, we can reuse them. And a lot of the parts that we found, even like the original plastic grill that would go into Project Spirit, we found that. That's a hard part to find, okay? I'm here to tell you that is a fucking hard-ass part to find. But because we got lucky enough to find it, we're definitely going to get that part, and then we can restore those parts as they come in. We can, you know, make some modifications as we go along and make Project Spirit really shine. I think we might even get lucky enough to use that hood too. Of course, we'll have to talk some friends into going down there and helping us transport that part up here to Project Spirit. So we're definitely on the right track. And again, we found lights, trims, grill, I mean, all sorts of stuff. We're going to get, this is definitely a time for us to, you know, reuse some parts on a car that's just, she's never going to see, you know, she's never going to be able to hit the road again. It kind of sucks, you know, it is what it is. And you'll have to excuse me, I'll be doing a little bit of gatekeeping here, as you might say nowadays. We'll give the name of the salvage yard as we get closer to finishing, you know, getting what we need, because some people are kind of like that, you know, if you will. You know, and businesses have got to do what they got to do, but it is what it is, right? They got to make their money too. So we're going to be kind of gatekeeping here, if you will. And as we get closer to getting everything that we need, we're definitely going to divulge who is, you know, who has this old junk Maverick that we're able to get parts for Project Spirit on, okay? So that's kind of how that works. Just bear in mind, as you take parts off, what can you what can you restore, bring back to life? If you can't use it, if it's still in good condition and you could still bring it back to life, many of you out there know how to use, you know, buy, sell, trade on Facebook, shoot, Craigslist. Never mind the weird stuff that happens on Craigslist. But, you know, you can still find, you know, people still use it for the right reasons. And, of course, you can get lucky enough, in some cases, to find, you know, going through, you know, junkyards in my location on Google. You know, you can still do all of that. There's a million ways that you could do this by, you know, getting, you know, taking out the old parts and bringing in new. All right. So that's kind of where we're at on this. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. This is just kind of a glimpse into what sometimes isn't talked about when the cameras are off, okay? These are important things that some of you all really need to know. And for the record, I've already talked to the junkyard that once we get Project Spirit going, I've seen a couple project cars down there I'm interested in. But that depends on you guys out there, how quickly you guys also share me out, and, you know, the merchandise and Patreon and all that other stuff. That kind of depends on you guys. Alrighty, so that brings us to our stopping point. We kind of touch base on Patreon, Teespring. You already know where to find it, and that sort of thing. Again, I want to thank Scrappin' Metal over in Park Hills, Missouri on Old Flat River Road for helping us out and getting rid of those old parts and that sort of thing. I want to thank you guys very much from the bottom of my heart. And that brings us to the point where I get to remind all of you, get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is, just do something with yourselves. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet and do something special for them today. And as always, for every last one of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.
Saving all my love for you. Away forever if you want me to. Saving all my love for you. Away forever if you want me to.
Aircraft removal.